one state's pilot version of our national health reform law does not suck the way the Red Sox do this year. It has worked really well in Massachusetts. The proportion of people who now have health insurance in Massachusetts is 98%. 98% of people in the state are insured. That is the highest rate in the nation. Nearly 100% of Massachusetts kids are insured. 90% of doctors in the state say that the quality of care has improved since the reform law went into effect. And Massachusetts residents like it by a nearly 2-to-1 margin. And even that poll was taken in the middle of the Republican presidential primary when all of the candidates were constantly talking about how awful the Massachusetts plan is because it's the same as what President Obama did for the country. So even with a national political campaign where everybody's slagging off the Massachusetts health plan, A, it works, and B, Massachusetts likes it. Here's the thing, though. The most important political thing about health reform at the national level is this difference in this chart. Within a year of this law being signed in Massachusetts, it was going into effect. Within a year, the major reforms were taking place. And in that year, in that short window of opportunity, the state owned the airwaves, blanketing the state with the good news about the law passing and what you needed to do and how it was going to be great for you and great for the state and you could take advantage of all the great things it was going to offer your family, and yay, Red Sox. At the federal level, though, same reform, but look at that. Thanks to the Democrats' pleading efforts to try to get some Republicans on board with it in Congress, one of the things we ended up with is this 4-year implementation plan. And during those 4 years, nobody is blanketing the country with the equivalent of, yay, Red Sox, isn't health reform great? Instead, we've gotten $250 million being spent by the opponents of this president to say that this law, which you probably haven't benefited from yet because it hasn't really gone into effect, this law is murder and Satan and stubbing your toe all rolled into one. It's not health reform, it's Obamacare. It's awful. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely awful. It comes from the government. The government's awful. $250 million. Yes, there have been some comparatively meager efforts by the government to let people know about what the law actually is and its benefits and how you can take advantage of them. But with $250 million being spent against it, it's been like spitting into the wind. And the latest effort to spit more into that wind, a $20 million contract with an ad agency called Porter Novelli to try to explain to people some of the benefits of the law. The Republicans in Congress now want that contract canceled. I wonder why that is. And so today, health reform was upheld as constitutional at the Supreme Court. Political pandemonium, all eyes on the president. And he steps up to the same lectern from which he announced that he just killed bin Laden, and he makes his first remarks to the nation on the occasion of the most important Supreme Court case in a decade, if not longer. And the president uses that occasion to be a human brochure, to explain that if you are 25 years old, you can now stay on your parents' health insurance instead of being kicked off. Right. That's exactly the right thing to do.